out with her and we had a great dinner. And it was really good. It's good to see her and her boyfriend, and we had a good time.
Awesome. Glad you guys got there safely and had that opportunity to spend with Haley. We're talking about Chris Hunter, guys, and kind of his ascension to being the number 2 receiver. And it's been really great to see, because that was something we talked about earlier in the year, and one of the issues that the Wildcats were having with this offense was really not having that second guy that Noah Fafita could go to outside of Territorial and McMillan. But in the last 4 weeks, it has been Chris Hunter, and he has really stepped up. I mean, that first touchdown catch he made at the back of the end zone last week was as athletic a touchdown as I've seen from a receiver not named Territorial McMillan in quite a long time.
Yeah, I think he gave us a glimpse into the future of what he has to bring to the table. I think he'll be coming into the season probably as the number 1 guy. Sure, he has to go through camp and earn that position, but from what's on film already, he looks like that guy that can make some amazing catches. He'll go up and high point the ball. I also really love that jet sweep, man. He seems to have some talent running the ball as well. When they get the ball in his hands, he gets a lot of first downs in those short yardage situations. So he brings a few elements to the table.
And one of the things I like about him is that his toughness. He got hurt. He was limping off the field. His jersey's all messed up, and he went to the sideline, and he was out a couple of games, and he came back, and he came back with some real effort, and that's what we like about having a receiver that is durable. He's a guy that's shown to people that, I can play when I'm hurt also. And the toughness is what is really, sometimes lacking in some receivers. When you have the toughness and then you have also the ability to catch the ball and run, accelerate after the catch, those are the great things. I think he's got a bright future.
Let's hear from Chris Hunter. We heard from him a couple weeks ago just on what he's taken away from Territorial McMillan and being around and one of the best wide receivers in college football. But he's also learned a lot from the rest of the guys in his wide receiver room.
Just trying to learn from and compete with guys like Montana. He's like the big bro of the group. You know what I'm saying? He taught me so many small details and stuff too. Just seeing we have so many unique type of route runners in our receiver room. So I steal something from everybody. Dev Hyatt, how he runs his routes, how he opens up, how JP separates, how T, attacks the ball, things like that, how Montana uses his hand on releases. I just try to steal things from everybody because it's, special people in the room.
Well, and you like to hear that, especially, what he's taken away from, Montana Lamonius Craig, because he's kind of ascended and taken those reps, those game reps that Montana was getting at the beginning of the season, which is never an easy situation.
No, it's not easy, but what I loved about listening to him talk about that is that he's paying attention and he's watching with his eyes. It's different than, having to listen to guys and having to ask guys what to do. Then you sitting there paying attention and getting those visual reps, those mental reps of actually watching and seeing what those guys bring to the table and respecting them. A lot of times in football, you have to respect the guy ahead of you before you can get a chance to even get his spot. And that's what I heard from this kid.
Yeah. Let's also have a chance, obviously, when you talk about Territorial McMillan, he broke the record last week, most receiving yards in the history of the Arizona Wildcats football program, and it came late in the game.
Fafita throws right, caught by McMillan, tackled immediately. They will get positive yardage out over the 45 to about the 47. And a good tackle out there by JaTravis Broughton, a senior from Tulsa.
T-Mac runs an out route, Noah just put the ball right on him for a quick 7-yard gain.
That'll be enough to break the record there for Territorial McMillan. Territorial McMillan is a new school record. Today, he has caught 9 passes for 115 yards, and he's passed Bobby Wade for the all-time receiving yards record at Arizona.
Yeah. An amazing feat. This record stood for quite a long time.
Bobby Wade had held that record since 2002, so it stood for 22 years, but now belongs to Tetro McMillan at 3,355 yards. Had a chance to chat with Bobby Wade this week, and he talked about Tetro McMillan being the absolute perfect pupil.
You know, he's it's funny, we talk about being a pro's pro, right? He loves this game. You know, you can see the way he goes about it every day at practice. He really wants to be the best version of himself. He sets his goals high. He's very ambitious, and I think he works at it. You know, and that's something that's deserving to be rewarded. And he's been the heartbeat of this team without being the vocal leader and having to scream and yell and stand in front of everybody and speak. And that's just a tribute to who he is and his character as a person. You know, he doesn't have to be, he doesn't want to be the person in the front, but naturally because of his ability, he is. And so he's scrutinized and he's going to be picked apart. And I think that's just the way it is in any sport when you're playing at the top, that everybody from the bottom is going to try to pull it apart. But I think he does a great job of just coming to work every day. And that's when we talk about being a pro's pro. You know, regardless of all the things that are happening around him, and, you know, people want to talk about the possibilities if you went here, if you went there, and, you know, even out of high school, you know. So he's just a young man growing up to be a man and just following his own journey, you know, standing where his feet are and you know, just trying to be positive and push forward all the time. You know, some of those things, you know, they're warranted, and, you know, some of them he brings upon himself, but he's young. You know, and then like any other young kid, you're going to go through those trials and tribulations, and, you know, you got to grow up and you got to learn, but his maturity is continuing to ascend, and I think he's doing a great job.
And as a guy who's played in the National Football League, how have you tried to prepare Tetro for that level and what he needs to do to succeed at that level?
Constantly trying to find the weaknesses, you know, within his game, trying to find a way to improve him, find a way for him to improve every week, and understanding that that's what the NFL is about. You know, it is consistently getting better. It is consistently improving. If you're ever, you know, stagnant, then you're probably not going to be in that league for long. So just constantly trying to watch enough tape with him to find out, you know, what we can improve on, giving him, you know, the drills, the conversation, the tape that he needs to show him where we can improve, and then pushing him to do it. A lot of it is just, you know, making sure that he understands that he has to play well every week, you know, and that's pretty much what it is. It's a production-based business, and no matter how good of a nice guy you are or how bad, it is about production. And so we just want to keep him focused on getting better individually, and then in return, it helps the team.
Bobby, what's your Territorial Cup memory as a player?
My senior year playing in Phoenix, being, you know, growing up in Phoenix and from Phoenix, and obviously being recruited by Arizona State as well. I have an opportunity my senior year to go back there and play and win that game in front of the friends and family was great. There's just a lot of passion that goes into this game, and it's a, you know, as being a player that's played in it, and then also a coach that's coached in it, you know, it's a player's game. You know, it's really for them. You know, and if you get an opportunity to ever play in it, like, you know that it's something you're going to remember forever. And typically you remember the wins. So that one my senior year was definitely a big win up in Phoenix.
You guys have tried a number of those quick passes to the edge the last couple of weeks. Some of them have not been blocked well. Some of them you've been outnumbered in terms of blockers per defenders. What do you guys have to do to be more successful with those plays?
I think timing and when they're called a lot of times too, you know, and then a lot of those are, you know, decisions that the quarterback gets opportunity to make. You know, sometimes the looks can be cloudy. So you try to get the ball out the quarterback's hand quickly to be able to give those guys an opportunity on the perimeter to make guys miss. And, you know, they play too. So sometimes they work. They're not made to be home run hits. You know, they're really made to just be perimeter runs. And if we can pick up 2 to 4 yards on them, it becomes a positive play for it. We're happy with it. If they come out the back end and we can split a couple guys and make it a big hit, great for us. It's just something we still got to work on. It takes time. It's not something you could just put in the offense and think you're going to be really good at it right away. But I think it's something that we can make some good money on.
And how happy are you with the overall blocking from the wide receivers?
Oh, that's a tough question. We are growing in that area. I'm gonna keep it like that. Sometimes it goes really well, sometimes it doesn't. It's a work in progress. I'll say this: blocking on the perimeter is just about effort. You got to want to do it. And so the guys that show you that they're getting it done at a high level is because they're just working their butts off to be able to get it done. And so, it's never perfect. Football's not. So we just continue to try to work it and give them opportunity.
Guys, what I liked about what Bobby said there in terms of Territorial McMillan and preparing him for the next level is that he continually day-to-day is trying to find the weaknesses in his game. And where we know you can run routes. We know you can go up and make great catches. What are the weaknesses? What are those things? We need to work on those things so that you're ready come draft day to be prepared to go into the National Football League.
Well, that's how great players prepare. That's what great players understand, that the other teams are going to be watching the film and looking at them and looking for their weaknesses to stop them. So if you find out about your weaknesses yourself and work on them, there's nothing you can do as a defense to stop me. So it's just one of those things that, Bobby brings to the table of understanding that with players like T-Mac that who already have a lot of accolades, you have to show them where you can help them be better or they're not going to listen to you. So I thought it was a great, brilliant idea having Bobby come and actually be the coach, because I think it gave him somebody that he respects that played here and also that was a guy that played in the NFL and not necessarily was a number one target, but was a guy that was productive. And so in having that guy, he could really give him all those little valuable things like blocking, understanding that, hey, if you don't block, you're not going to play. We don't care how great of a receiver you are, you're not going to play. And that's what he has to hear.
And another thing is that as a strength coach, one of the things that I do with my athletes is I call their coaches and ask for not what their strengths are, is what their weaknesses are. What are their weaknesses so we can work on those things. We don't really talk a lot about their strengths. We talk about their weaknesses to make them a complete player, because that's how you become a complete player. And those things, and those guys that always work on the same thing, that they know that they could do this really well, and they're always working on that. They got to work on the things that people say that you can't do, and those are the important things that you do. And if he's doing that now, he's working his way into being a real good professional.
All right, that is our initial review of the Arizona Wildcats offense for this 98th Territorial Cup game.
That's the Wildcats Offensive Scouting Report. The Offensive Scouting Report is brought to you by O'Reilly Chevrolet. O'Reilly Chevrolet, get more with O'Reilly Chevrolet.
All right, we'll go in the huddle with Tom Tunnicliffe, class of 1983, quarterback. Straight ahead, it's Meridian Wealth Management. Arizona Game Day coming to you live from the U of A Mall ahead of the 98th battle here on the territory. Arizona State. Who do you got? If you're a Sun Devil fan, text us, 520-848-1290. We'll hear from you. We'll read your text on the air. We don't play favorites all the time here, but most of the time, oh, my God, there's a nasty mustard and red-colored suit over there that young man has on. Embarrassing, indeed. All right, you are listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800 The Eagle.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style, and top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
My heat and air were in a state of disrepair.
It's November and the weather is cooling down. Now is the time to have your furnace serviced to ensure that it's operating safe and efficient. We also have a $79 garbage disposal service. And check out our monthly plumbing specials on our website. Call Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing for all your plumbing and heating needs at 520-492-0748 or picturerockscooling.com.
Picture Rocks Cooling, Heating, and Plumbing.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
Experiencing the natural wonders comes easy at Rockin' K. Nestled at the base of the Rincon Mountain foothills, enjoy stunning mountain views up close every day. 6 model homes are now open to tour at Del Webb at Rockin' K. Here, life is about more than just beautiful homes. It's about the experiences waiting outside your front door at this new 55-plus active adult neighborhood. LiveRockingK.com. Designed by nature. Proud U of A radio broadcast sponsor.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Tohono O'odham Nation.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan. Let's go in the huddle with Arizona letterman Glenn Howell. In the huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
Welcome into this week's edition of In the Huddle with Howell, presented by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates. I'm U of A tight end Glenn Howell, class of 1985. Our guest today is second-team All-Pac-10 and third leading passer all-time at the University of Arizona, and also known as the Sun Devil Killer, quarterback Tom Tunnicliffe, class of 1983. Tom, how you doing today?
Hey, Glenn. Great to hear your voice. I'm doing great. It's game day. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful day to beat the Sun Devils.
Well, that's awesome, Tom. Glad you could come on. I appreciate you coming on the show. And, you know, this is a great week for us as Wildcats playing against the Scum Devils this week. Everybody gets excited, and all through the years, it probably goes through all through your years that you've been, after you left U of A, you think about all the games that you played in against, in your college career and all that stuff. And then you get back into real life. Like what kind of thing, what are you doing now in your life now? And what kind of career do you have now?
Well, when I finished school, I got into the real estate business in Burbank, California. And for the most part, did that for the last, pushing 40 years now, and ended up acquiring a portfolio of properties in downtown Burbank and just kind of managed those up until a few years ago, which I'm still doing that, but I got into the gym business, believe it or not, a few years ago, kind of as a passion project. And it's really turned into a kind of a pivot for me in a new career, because we kind of developed a concept that is doing super, super well. It's growing dramatically. It's well received. It's been labeled the best gym in Burbank, but I think it's probably one of the best gyms anywhere. It's called EverFit. And we followed some very simple principles, and it's just seen growth year after year, and sky's the limit. In fact, we're trying to locate a location in Arizona. I'd love to open up one here somewhere. I've enjoyed that because it's given me the opportunity, one, to just be around health-conscious people and the influence of trying to stay fit, and as you get older and all the aches and pains creep back into your life. And so it's really had a good influence on me in every way. So that's kind of where I spend most of my time these days.
Yeah, and you'd think that it would be real easy for you as being a former athlete and a high-level athlete, to be in that business. And it probably makes you feel comfortable being there too, doesn't it?
It does. And it also, that's why I think the business has grown, is I cut right through it. I mean, that industry is full of people trying to sell gimmicks and new ways of doing things that really are just, something that isn't sustainable. So I cut to the chase and I know what to focus on. And the number one thing is really we try to make the facility comfortable and welcoming for women. That's the key. So we're really high on the aesthetics and hospitality, and our facility, actually, the majority of our members are women, which is rare, if not unheard of, in a gym of our size. So it's been fun.
And also, you look at the science as a science. All these gimmick things. And I'm a strength conditioning coach, and you got to go with the science. Science is science, and there's no other way to explain anything. You could do the gimmicks, but if you have no proof behind it, it's not really anything. So
no, you can run trick plays your whole game, or you can learn how to block and tackle. And if you learn how to block and tackle, you never really have to look up at the scoreboard, because at the end of the game, you'll be on top. But if you're trying to find shortcuts and sneak around and be tricky, it's just not a sustainable approach to anything in life.
Tom Tunnicliffe is our guest in the Huddle with Hal, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years. So Tom, what made you choose the University of Arizona? Tell us your story on that.
Yeah. Well, I feel so lucky to have ended up here. Essentially, I wasn't super highly recruited out of high school, and when it came down to it, I had scholarship offers from U of A and San Diego State. A lot of the coaches thought I was too short or too small to play, which my response to that was always, if a coach thought I was too short, then they were too dumb for me to want to play for. So,
exactly.
I was lucky to get to U of A. I chose it because the Southwest. I wanted to get away from home, which was Burbank, and really, it was U of A was going into the Pac-10 at the time, and I wanted to compete at the highest level, and that was the best opportunity to do so. And then, as it turned out, I was recruited by Tony Mason, but he ultimately was fired. And then, when I got here, was a new head coach, Larry Smith, and so we had a new coach, new conference. I felt like it gave me a good opportunity because there was no bias towards any of the players. The coaching staff was going to have to take a clean look at everybody. Very similar to where we find ourselves today, new coach, new conference. And although it hasn't been the year we were all hoping for, I think good things are still yet to come. There's an adjustment period for sure.
Yeah, so Tom, when you got here, for me, when I got here, I knew about, I was, grew up in the Bay Area, the Cal-Stanford game. I knew how the rivalry was there. My brother played in that Cal-Stanford game, But when I got here, I walked into the locker room and I looked at the clock and I was like, what is that clock? What is that clock? And it's like a countdown. It was like the thing that we were counting down the days until we play Arizona State. And that's how I got introduced to the rivalry. How were you introduced to the rivalry?
Well, I was introduced in probably the most horrible way, but maybe the most effective, lasting way that allowed me to really understand what it was all about. So it was my freshman year and ended up starting. And the game against ASU was here in Tucson. And they were a good team. We were struggling, finding our way a little bit. And we ended up losing the game. I think it was 44-7 first year. And it was like, wow. I mean, it was one thing to lose a game, but the amount of emotion and passion, not just the players, but their fans. People. What I learned was, and I know there's exceptions, and this is a gross generalization maybe, but the most low-class people I've ever been around. That's just what stood out in my mind. We had gone and beat, later in my career, Notre Dame when they were top 10 undefeated at Notre Dame. We beat SC in the Coliseum when they were undefeated and ranked number one in the nation. And the year Marcus Allen won the Heisman and other, quality teams. Nobody ever acted the way these ASU fans did every single time we were around them. And so it left such a lasting impression on me. I knew one day I'd be back for revenge. And in 1982, we definitely got our revenge.
David Kelly has a question for you.
Hey, Tom.
One of my colleagues here.
Tom, great to hear from you. We're out here on the mall here at the University of Arizona getting ready for this game. Fans all over the place from both the Wildcat and Sun Devil nations. We've had a lot of people that have been talking about that 1982 game this week. When we've been asking about memories and whatnot, and we were talking at the top of the show about how it's not necessary. It's about winning this game, but it's also about making that play that people are going to be talking about now. What are we, like 40? What is it? Was that 42 years later, if my math is right? The play to Brian Holland. Walk us through that play. What the call was, and how you guys executed one of the most iconic plays in the history of this rivalry for Arizona.
Yeah, it's so funny. So you're right, 42 years in that game, and those plays just burnt into my memory. So, we were always, it was easy to get up for this game. We were underdogs in that particular game, once again. at the time, ASU had the number one defense in the whole country, number one rated D, and they had some incredible talent, athletes, no question. I mean,
Vernon Maxwell,
they were a good team, really good, and all they had to do was beat us, and they would get berth in the Rose Bowl. So, little backstory for context. So they, they were so arrogant coming in, and their fans were carrying roses. They had the rose-scented Glade air freshener, and they were spraying it in the stands and at our fans. Oh my God! So they were, to them it was a foregone conclusion. They were just going to run through us. And they spent the week leading up to it talking about who they'd be playing in the Rose Bowl and what it meant and all that. So that was enough to give us all the motivation we needed. We had an unbelievable pregame speech by a coach, our strength coach, Tom Rogman. May he rest in peace. But he was such a powerful individual that he did this. He never spoke. This was the one time. And he gave us his speech about a rat being cornered in a room by a bobcat and how the rattle doesn't know that the bobcat's 10 times bigger and get up on its hind legs and bare its teeth and its nails. Be prepared to kill or be killed. And it was just like this crazy, inspiring speech that we were all ready to run through. If the room didn't have a door, it wouldn't have mattered because we were ready to run through the wall to get out on the field. But
Coach Rogie was great.
For us offensively, that wouldn't do much. I can be as fired up as possible, but I'm not going to go out and run anyone over. So on the offense side, we had this fantastic offensive coordinator and my position coach, Steve Axman. In our approach, his approach was, look, these guys, this defense is tough, and they're fast, and they blitz. So we're not going to stop their blitz. What we're going to do is we're going to use it against them. And we're going to beat it with hot routes by just you're going to have to read where the blitz is coming from, and then we're going to release somebody because the coverage is going to be man-to-man if they're blitzing, and that's what they did all the time. So we're going to let them do it, and then we're going to release a running back, which at the time, it's very difficult for linebackers to cover running backs in full stride. And so it was all about kind of setting the motion side, be a little more cerebral, and try to be aware of what they were doing so that we could respond to it. And that really was what it was. So Brian on that play, he just, thank God, he read the blitz. So our plan was, rather than stay in and block and pick up the blitz, take off on a quick hot route. And it was just my job to get him the ball. And so that was our plan, and it worked. It worked to perfection. And in fact, I think I missed one or two that day that could have scored on as well. But that was the sum and substance of it. And then, of course, the defense did their job because they were incredible. We had so many good players ourselves. Defense led by Ricky Hunley, of course. And we seemed to rise to the occasion. Like, if it was Oregon State, I don't know that we would have had the same kind of enthusiasm. But ASU, or teams that over-challenged us, that we were supposed to lose, it just seemed like those were the games that brought out the best in us. And so it was super satisfying seeing those ASU fans throwing their roses in the trash cans and their air freshener in the trash cans, and tears in their eyes as they left the stadium.
Second team All Pac-10 quarterback Tom Tunnicliffe and third leading passer in Arizona history. Tom Tunnicliffe is our guest in the huddle with Howell, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years. Well, Tom, you know what? I sent you some questions, and you're answering them as we go with that question from Dave. And, you know, what was one of the things that, you know, we always had during the week, and I remember just like in the 83 week when I was my first year there, what was the attitude of the team during that 82 week? Because like you said, we're in the same situation. Arizona State is number 3 in the country in defense right now. They're ranked number 3. Arizona State at that time was number 1 in the country. Their defense is playing really, really well. And what was your attitude as far as the players during that 82 week when you guys were playing them during the week?
Well, for sure the attitude was pride. You know, they're coming into your stadium and you can't let them run over you. So you wanted to be able to stand up to the bully, so to speak. So the motivation was there, but it was really about finding the way, what's the best path to beat them. And I always felt like scheme and desire trumps athleticism every time, in my view. So if you give me a kid who's just willing to jump in the foxhole and fight to the death, and who has great technique and a football IQ over just a big, strong, fast kid every time. And so it's really about, in my view, if they're going to be, if they're superior in an aspect of a game, you know, that attitude some coaches get, which is, well, we're going to beat them at their own game. I've never really adopted that. I was like, well, let's let them, you know, do what they're going to do. Let's find another way to beat them that they don't see coming. And I hope the staff and the team is kind of taking that approach, because the emotion wears off pretty quick. You can get into the game and you can be fired up in warm-ups and punch walls and butt heads, but man, by the
you got to get down to the nitty-gritty.
First series is over with, it's like, oh my God, we're in a fight here. What are you going to do? So that's I hope what their approach is, try something a little bit different, and you know, find a way to win. That's what Coach Smith used to always say, was find a way, whatever way that is. But motivation was always
Tom,
there.
And didn't you have another long pass to Brad Anderson that game?
Yeah, so Brad Anderson, man, I mean, all these guys, you know, it's the same adage, like quarterback usually gets too much credit on the wins and too much blame on the losses. And it's true. I mean, yeah, I'd have to make some throws, but the people that were around me were really the ones that made me look good. I mean, it was unbelievable. Yeah, I think it was Mike Richardson, who ended up with the Eagles, All-Pro, incredible defensive back. That was another blitz that you can see on the play. I got hit right as I was throwing it, kind of affected the pass a little. Brad ran a slant one-on-one with Richardson and was able to make a really difficult catch, turned upfield and outran that guy, outran Richardson, which a lot of people think it was that play that got Brad drafted to the Chicago Bears, and he was part of that 1985 team that won the Super Bowl, because they never thought he was fast. He was always kind of a possession receiver kind of guy, but that play right there changed all their minds. And to my point, we had great talent, and we would rise to the occasion, you know, when pressed. And yeah, that was a huge play.
Yeah, and the offensive line on that 82 team was really, really good, with Jeff Keywell, McCormick, and Freeman, and you know, the other tackle was that Chris Schultz? Was Chris Schultz on that one?
Yeah.
Chris Schultz, who played many, many years in the Canadian Football League, and Jeff Keywell, who was a draft choice for the Atlanta Falcons, and Glenn McCormick, who didn't have an injury, would have played years in the NFL.
Yeah, they were all big, giants.
Yeah.
Strong, great players. Mike Freeman he was so great because he's the kind of guy like I'm talking about. He wasn't the tallest. He wasn't the most athletic from just a straight fitness standpoint. But, man, he was the toughest guy, one of the toughest guys I've ever been around. And I'll never forget plays where it was the final drive against UCLA. You probably hate me for telling this story, but final drive on our last home game against UCLA. Rick Neuheisel was their quarterback, and we're driving down the field, and it was relentless. It was a day game, and Mike was just killing it, and he was so exhausted that every time we re-huddled to call the play, Mike was throwing up. So he would bend over, hands on his knees, and he's throwing up through his face mask in the huddle.
Yeah.
While I'm trying to call the play, and I'm looking at the game clock, figuring out like what time I need to get that snap off, and trying to give him as much time as possible before we had to go back up to the line. And he'd go all the way up to the line, and he'd have like puke hanging off of his face mask when we snapped the ball. Oh, it was classic. But yet we went down, scored. Jay Dobbins, another legend, made an unbelievable catch in the back of the end zone, and we won the game. So, yeah, I'll never forget that with Mike.
Tom Tunnicliffe is our guest in the Huddle with Hal, brought to you by Kaiser Garage Doors and Gate. Kaiser, serving Arizona for over 25 years. Well, Tom, tell me, if you had a chance to talk to the guys right before the game, what would you say to them? This is my final question to you: is that what would you say to them about this game?
It'd be hard to contain the emotion, but I would say this is where your legacy is made. This is it. Nothing else matters. Play to the fullest potential, and it's a kill or be killed situation. So don't give up mentally, physically. Don't quit. But I can tell you that every friend, relative, your parents are all going to remember what happens here today. And so you want to leave them with the best memory ever of who you are as a player and as a person. And this is a golden opportunity. I always cherished being the underdog because typically people didn't expect much out of you. You were expected to lose. So I felt like you have nothing to lose going in. Lose, open it up, take some risks, have fun, but at the end, maintain your composure. Don't give them any of what I know Coach Saban used to call the TNTs, the mistakes that take no talent. So watch out for the offsides and the penalties or no personal fouls, like anything that's a mental mistake. And, play your heart out.
Yes. Our thanks to Wildcats football alumni Tom Tunnicliffe for joining us in the Huddle and with Howell. And Tom, I appreciate you coming on, man. Love you, dude. You're a great teammate, and it's great to have you back on. And I'm looking forward to the Arizona Wildcats beating the Scummies today.
Me too, brother. Glenn. Thank you. Thank you for saying that. Feelings mutual. And I really appreciate the opportunity to have all these memories come flooding back in on a day like today. So thank you for inviting me and including me in this. And let's go beat the Sun Devils and ended on a high note.
That's In the Huddle with Howell. In the Huddle with Glenn Howell is brought to you by Kaiser Garage Door and Gates. Kaiser, with over 25 years serving Arizona.
Think of waking up with energy, standing tall and feeling free. Think First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
First Chiropractic is pleased to announce that Access Health Plans now cover chiropractic care. A referral by your PCP is required. For more information, go to firstchiro.com, the most trusted name in chiropractic care. A proud U of A radio sponsor.
First Chiropractic, good health is to enjoy.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Make the right choice for your home when it comes to windows and doors. For more than 20 years, the Window Depot has provided the best price and biggest inventory on in-stock windows and doors. The Window Depot is open to the public, so whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, you can shop the enormous warehouse. Browse the shelves with over 1,000 vinyl windows, interior and patio doors, and skylights in several varieties and sizes available to go home today. Shop thewindowdepot.com or find a location near you. The Window Depot, best price, biggest inventory.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pack rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection, Showtime Cards is your ultimate destination. As one of the leading card shops in the country, they've been serving our community for over 25 years with the best in sports cards and trading card games. From rare finds to the latest releases, Showtime Cards has it all. Check them out at ShowtimeCards.com or visit them today at 5801 East Speedway. And discover why collectors everywhere trust Showtime Cards for their passion.
Broadway in Tucson presents the new 2024-2025 season, featuring 6 blockbuster productions, including Mamma Mia, and the Southern Arizona premieres of Clue, live on stage, Beetlejuice, Some Like It Hot, the Neil Diamond musical, A Beautiful Noise, and Shucked. Secure your signature season tickets today and get the best seats at the best prices. Visit BroadwayInTucson.com and secure your 2024-2025 season tickets today.
Hey homeowners, are you ready to chill out and go green? Goodfellas Air Conditioning can help. Introducing our latest lineup of energy-efficient systems featuring the new R32 refrigerant. It's cooler, greener, and better for the planet. You'll enjoy lower energy bills and a smaller carbon footprint. Not a fan of change? Goodfellas has a surplus of reliable R410 systems available. Unsure about what system you have or have questions? Give us a call for a free inspection. Goodfellas Air Conditioning, keeping it cool, keeping it green, and always keeping you comfortable.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got him in. Hot touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetairoa McMillan.
Let's go.
Tear down, Cats. Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290.
And Delora will hand off. Wiley again. First down and a few more. Out to the 40, the 50. He is gone! Michael Wiley, the Sun Devil, 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Holiday to his right. Bourget the snap. Gets hit. He fumbles the ball. Arizona has it. The Cats with the ball. They pick it up. They'll take over at midfield. 4 Arizona State turnovers today. Takes the snap, play fake, back to throw, gets hit, throws it up in the air. Did he pick it off? Is that Arizona football? It is! The Cats have got it!
What a game.
Isaiah Taylor on the interception. Arizona 38, ASU 35. That's your final here at the stadium. The Cup is back in T-Town.
Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
Man, what a game that was 2 years ago here in Tucson. The Wildcats ending their 5-game losing streak to the Sun Devils and getting the Cup, as Brian Jeffries said, back here to T-Town. This is hour number 2 of the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We do have tickets to the game today. We do have tickets to today's game. So if you need tickets, come on down and see us here. We're on the east end of the U of A Mall, but bring your thinking cap, because we just don't give away these tickets. You got to win them by way of a contest or on the spinning wheel, or maybe even ask a question or answer a question concerning Territorial Cup history. That is how that works here. So come on by, stop on by and see us here. We're at the far east end on the center U of A Mall. You heard that, the highlights from 2022. Tyler Loop's favorite game, for sure.
It was the 38-35 game at home. Like, I've been telling guys all week, like, I've been a part of some really cool games. Like, when we went to the Rose Bowl and upset UCLA, that was a fun game, but nothing compared to rushing the field after beating the school up north, 38-35 on Isaiah Taylor's pick. That was just, that was a really special moment.
Let's look at the Wildcats' defensive scouting report for today's game.
Back to throw. He gets hit. He fumbles the ball. The Cats with the ball. They pick it up. They'll take over at midfield.
Today's defensive scouting report is brought to you by Rockin' K. Rockin' K, Tucson's premier master plan community. This is Arizona football on Wildcats Radio 1290.
Well, this is an Arizona State offense that comes in here clicking on all cylinders. It's one of the reasons why they have won 9 games, and they are in a position to potentially play for the Big 12 Conference Championship. There are 9 teams, if you weren't with us at the top of the show, 9 teams have a chance to win this conference on this final Saturday of the regular season. There are 256 different scenarios for teams to clinch one of the 2 spots in the Big 12 Conference Championship game. I initially thought Arizona State controlled their own destiny, but apparently they do not control. None of the teams controls their own destiny, apparently. Everybody needs a little bit of help from somewhere to get in. We might dive into that a little bit further. We'll hear from Kenny Dillingham a little bit later on how he feels about all the scenarios. But let's first hear from Dwayne Aquina, who will be coaching in his 17th Territorial Cup game today.
There's some real, this is probably a strong statement, but it's just some real hate, between the universities. It's a personal, is what I found, game between these 2 universities.
And he's been in some games. He's been in the Red River rivalry, which is, Texas and Oklahoma. He's seen some different battles. Cal, Stanford, he has been around quite a bit, and you got to believe that he has been up late trying to figure out a way to stop this guy.
with 1 second left, snaps it, gets it to Scadaboo, and Scadaboo breaks free. There he goes. 30, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown, Devils! Cam Scadaboo for 47 yards right up the middle. Oh, my goodness!
The legend grows.
Yeah, there is not a better running back in the nation than Cam Scadaboo, who's coming in here today to lead these Sun Devils. And it's a guy that Brent Brennan knows well because he tried to get him to come play football at San Jose State.
The thing I love about him is he's just a football playing fool. Like, he just loves to play, and it shows up, right? I mean, it shows up, and it's just cool. He's kind of an old school ball player, but he's one of those rare ones where he combines real physicality with the ability to finish runs. And, if he gets out, he's a problem.
16 touchdowns this season, 14 on the ground, 226 carries, 1,221 yards for one Cam Scadaboo. You got to believe that the Sun Devils are going to try to rely on him today. The Wildcats will have to try and shut him down. Now, we have talked a lot about Tetero McMillan and Noah Fafita. This will be their last game today with each other, but the Sun Devils say, hey, don't sleep on our guy. Sam Levitt says, I've got a pretty good guy too between me and my wide receiver Jordan Tyson, but he's not looking at this necessarily as a Fafita McMillan versus Levitt Tyson type matchup.
I haven't really looked at it like that, but that's a fair point. I kind of go into every game like that. If the quarterback's rated above me, or if the offense is supposedly better than ours, or anything like that, we're the team. So I feel like we're always counted out, and we just keep proving people wrong. So I'm excited to see what we do.
Did you think back at Arizona that you guys could be in this position at this point in the year?
I really wasn't thinking about it like that. I was just trying to get the starting job. So that was kind of my goal back then. And you get bits and pieces of understanding how good you are. But we're just playing each other, so you never really know. But it's pretty cool to see what we've developed into.
Just trying to get a starting job on a team that had been picked to finish 16th last in this conference. But Arizona State, with a win today, has a shot to go to the Big 12 championship game. Colorado has already taken care of their business, and they did so in a big way yesterday on your Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyer scoreboard. They beat Oklahoma State 52-0, and Oklahoma State lost all 9 games in the conference play, and they were picked to finish in the top 5. All right, that is a look at the defensive side of things for the Wildcats.
And that's a look at the Wildcats' defensive scouting report for today's game.
Back to throw. Here comes the rush again. He's sacked by Jacob Manu.
out, we're inundated with commercials asking to
Check.
review your portfolio or telling you to get a second
Check.
opinion. This is Natalie Fernandez with Meridian Wealth
Check,
Management.
check. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
People every day. Talk to different advisors at 3 different firms. It's important.
This is, we don't have anything else on, J-Dub. This is it.
I want Meridian to be one of your 3. And then you will decide who
So
is
it's
best
still
for
not
you.
good. You're
To
still
learn
not
more,
hearing me,
call us
correct?
at 719-1433 today.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment
Okay,
advisor.
you can hear me, but I'm super robot.
Always trust the big guy. Mention
He can
your
hear me, but
Wildcats and receive $50
well,
off
we don't
any
need a
repair
clip,
at
J-Dub. I don't need a clip.
coolwillies.com. Cool Willies is proud
We
to
don't
be
need a
partner of
clip.
the
We don't need a
University of
clip. Just
Arizona
let me know what
Wildcats
just.
radio broadcast. 2 powerful teams.
Okay,
working
I'll
hard
let
for you to get the job done right every
Jackie
day.
know to preview
Cool
on
Willie's
site.
Air and Plumbing. Big enough to help, small enough to care. Remember to mention your Wildcats and receive $50 off any repair. CoolWillies.com.
Go to Trenton if we have to go to Trenton,
First Choice Pools.
because that'll give us
Backyard
about 7
oasis built
minutes.
around you. First Choice is a full-service builder of beautiful in-ground pools and backyard designs for years of staycations. If you want to dive in this
Listen
summer,
on
now is
here.
the time to
Listen
visit
on the radio, just so you can hear what it sounds like when we come back. If we come back.
And repair. Get started today at TucsonPoolBuilders.com.
Well, that's the commercials, so you're not
Ask
going to
about
hear
our
it now.
60-day pool. To be summer ready, First Choice is the only choice.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 5-star Google reviews. Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, a proud sponsor of Arizona Athletics since 1968. And this year, the Wildcats are driving into the Big 12. But we've been down this road before. From the WAC to the PAC, it's never been about the conference. It's always been about the... on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care for the very best deals on tires and award-winning auto care. Jack Furrier Tire
1, 2, 1, 2. Check, check, test. Any better?
Get you there. Go Cats.
I can now.
Does it feel
Check,
like
check,
the price
test.
of
Any better?
everything
1,
is
2.
going
Any better?
Up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries.
Okay.
But at
Better
Royal
for
Kia,
now?
we never add market adjustments, even
All right.
while other dealers add fees because
Now it's
inventory is
worse.
limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured
He said
you
it was
won't
better,
pay
but then
market
it got
adjustments.
worse.
And we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. ABC 1, 2. 1, 2.
This football season. Monday and Thursday, get all-you-can-eat wings with Game Card for $19.99. Sunday, get in on the chance to win a big game
Check,
watch
check,
party
test,
with Dave &
test.
Buster's
1,
in
2,
front of
3.
the
1,
big
2,
screen,
3.
plus other big prizes and weekly winners.
Check, check,
Join
test.
them now through October 22nd. All day, every day. They'll be offering $5
Test,
22-ounce
test,
drafts
test.
only at Dave & Buster's. Make Dave & Buster's your place to watch the games.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona
right.
Game Day pregame
We'll
show.
try to
Wildcats
go, but
Radio
just listen and let us
1290.
see how it
Now
sounds.
Back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain Kelvin Efon.
And we're back out here on the U of A Mall. It is Arizona Game Day. Meridian Wealth Management, Arizona Game Day, getting you set for the 98th Territorial Cup game between the Wildcats and the Arizona State Sun Devils. Let's take another trip down memory lane back to 2016 when the Wildcats and the Sun Devils played here at the stadium.
Back to throw, has plenty of time, waits. Now he's going to run with the football. 35, first down and more. He may be gone. Dawkins 40, 35, 30, 25. Gets away from the last man, 5. Touchdown, Arizona. Brandon Dawkins goes 71. Dawkins will keep it right. Breaks the blitz 40 out to the 51 men to beat. Sun Devil 40. Down to the 35. Dodges him at the 25. Breaks a tackle. 50, 10, 5. Touchdown.
Yeah, that was quite an afternoon for the Arizona Wildcats that day. If I remember correctly, guys, they did not throw a single pass in the second half of that game, rolling up over 500 yards on the ground to beat the Sun Devils that day.
Bully ball, and we need a little bit of that today to have a chance. We got to keep that scatterboo off the field.
Glenn is in Chicago, Lamont.
right.
Lamont Hundley stopping by, Arizona linebacker. Exactly, right? He still makes it. Your boy Lamont Glenn is giving you a hard time.
Yes,
yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I just hope there's a lot of laughing by Lamont Lovett this game because
Lamont Hundley.
That means that we're doing good.
No, that's Lamont.
Every single.
That was Lamont. That was Lamont Hundley.
He's giving me Lamont Hundley. I'm not worried about him.
Yeah, always great to see our Arizona Wildcat alums on game day. Had a chance to talk to Lamont earlier this week. He shared a lot of great memories of his in this rivalry. And let's hear from the head coach real quick here. Time for DK with BB, I should say, BB. Sponsored by nobody, but I did have one important question to the head coach earlier this week. I know you only went through one of these with Dick Tomey as head coach, but what do you remember about that week, how he expressed the importance of it to new coaches like you coming in, about how he wanted you guys to kind of relate to the players and get them to understand the importance of it that week, getting ready to face ASU?
Well, I think the fun part of it, as it is for our staff, we have multiple guys that have played in this game on staff, right? Chuck Cecil, Brandon, there's Ricky, there's Bobby, you know what I mean? So, we have people that know exactly what this is and can explain to the guys that are new or that haven't been a part of it what this thing is all about. And I think that's a really important part of it. I think you're going to have more of that in college football now because the rosters are overturning, such a big percentage of rosters are overturning. So every year you're going to have new people, a bigger percentage of new people on your football team than maybe what teams have been used to in the past. My favorite memories involved when my brother was playing here. Some of those, there was a crazy play at ASU. I want to say it was 97. And it was they were kind of in the high red zone, maybe a little bit further out. And ASU ran a blitz, and the linebacker ran past in the A gap on the right side of the formation, and then ran around the quarterback and exited the A gap on the other side of the formation. And they snapped the ball. They didn't call it dead, and OJ threw a post to my brother for a touchdown on a false start or on an encroachment penalty. It was just a crazy play and a super cool moment. But Coach Tomey was brilliant at always bringing teams together. I mean, he was, and I know he had an incredible track record in this game over his time as a head coach. So and then there's guys like Dino Babers and Dwayne Aquina that coached in this game for a bunch of years and know exactly what it is. Dwayne being the one that was here for the longest. So I feel like we have great people to talk about what this rivalry means and to help our players that haven't been here or that are new. Help them feel and understand exactly what it means to play ASU.
Guys, we only have a couple minutes, but Kelvin, obviously, Coach, talking about Coach Tomey there. What do you remember about his message, his pregame speeches prior to Territorial Cup games?
To me, Coach Tomey always talked about playing for your brothers, playing for each other, staying together, doing the right thing. To me, it was more than about winning the game. It was about how we played together in that game. So just always about battling and just staying together at the end of the day.
How about you, Glenn? What do you remember about the pregame speech on game day prior to this one?
Well, I tell you what, Coach Smith was always telling us to believe that we can win. We got to believe that we can win, and it was really something that he knew. Like I don't know, every week that I remember all the weeks that we played before the game. My 3 years there, I just felt that we were going to win the game. We had a confidence. We had good practices all during the week, and the coaches were just really, positive. And then, and everything was emotional with that last hit thing with when we hit the dummy for our last hit as an Arizona Wildcat. So it was really something that was just, I remember it, it's embossed in my mind that, we just had a positive feeling going into that game. And we had a pregame speech from Coach Rogerman. We had from other coaches that were just really good that just got us fired up to play this game. And then we just had a lot of hatred towards Arizona State. So that was a lot of good things to go with that.
All right, appreciate that. Those memories of pregame speeches from both Coach Tomey and Community Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. We're coming to you live from the U of A Mall prior to the 98th Territorial Cup game. We're going to go in the Captain's Corner coming up next and hear from 2019 quarterback Khalil Tate. Along with Kelvin Ifan and Glenn Howell, live from Chicago. Here in Tucson, I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Did you know collecting sports cards is one of the fastest growing hobbies around? Whether you're looking to start or expand your collection,
All right, we're going to reset again. You're going to put that in front of us?
Just half of it. Because I'm going to block the sun.
From this side.
I'm going to put the other half on.
Just cover it. I mean, you don't have to put that. Just cover this all the way up.
I mean, it's still
gaining. Fine. If
That's not the only thing that's the issue with it. It's
what
like,
is it?
This is getting hot, that's getting hot. So we have three sources that are getting hot.
Right. I mean, we've been out here on hotter days with all that stuff.
I know, which I don't understand why he's doing that. So we'll give it a second. I'll go from there.
This is not even the hottest day. I don't know if it's the heat. I'm thinking it's probably more. And it's not like there's a ton of people out here either.
This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan. Gather up, Wildcats fans. It's time to hear from our captain. It's time for our pregame speech. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. And now, here is the captain, Kelvin Ifan.
Welcome into this week's edition of the Captain's Corner, presented by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. I'm Kelvin Ifan. Our guest today is Khalil Tate, quarterback from the class of 2019 here at the U of A. Khalil, how you been doing, man?
I'm doing real well, man. How about yourself?
Oh, man, been doing great, man. So, man, what you been up to, Khalil?
A little bit of everything. You know, I'm still playing myself. As of right now, I made a transition to wide receiver, so I've been that wide receiver. Just basically developing and, gaining that knowledge of everything, training with guys like Deshaun Jackson and Territorial Owens and whatnot. And I'm really just, waiting on that opportunity. Just signed with a new agency from the one that I was previously with. Just been trying to, chop at it every day and, wait on that opportunity.
Yes, sir, man. Stay at it, man. That was one of the things that I wish I would have did during my time, man. I was free agent with the Raiders, went to NFL Europe. Man, I just wish I would have stayed at it. A lot of people don't understand that you can get in 4 and 5 years later, man. I knew a lot of guys, that's when they got in. And if it's truly your passion, man, don't give up on it, man. You're a great athlete. My son told me he saw you on a TV show, man. Tell us a little bit about that. You going into some acting?
Yeah, sir. Cash out the bag. I do a little acting as well. I'm on the TV shows like All American on Peacock. I'm sorry, yeah. All American on CW. I'm on Bel Air, which is on Peacock. I'm on episode on the show 911. Just been on a few, magazine covers and whatnot. Just been trying to, expand my brand. When I was in school, I wasn't able to reap the benefits of NIL, so this is kind of like my back half of that. So, being able just to do something different, and that's the main thing. And, yeah, man, I've been having fun at it.
Man, speaking of NILs, I had that as one of my questions, man. I was like, I think I would have earned a nice little piece of change. We were pretty good during our time. I was a two-sport athlete here, so I think I would have earned a nice little piece of change, man. But with some of the things you did your sophomore year, man, 1,500 yards or something like that, man, what do you think your NIL value would have been, man? How you think you would have done?
I like to think that the people might know a little better than me. I think that definitely I think it would have been pretty hefty. I think that the way I came onto the scene and, the quote-unquote overnight sensation aspect of it definitely would have added a lot of buzz, which I feel like, these days they already have it, but I feel like it would have made a big buzz. I'm not sure how they do the estimates of what people would have made, but I do know I'm a part of a lawsuit from the NCAA that I'm going to be involved in that, so I'm going to reap some sort of benefit from that. But I don't know how much I would have made, no.
Yeah, I probably, couldn't have been no less than under 900 to a meal. I'm just saying, with the way, with the things you were able to do, man. You had this place going crazy, man. The whole state, the whole West Coast, especially being a California, LA area guy. Had LA on lock, Cali. So, man, I know you would have did very well. You were here as an honorary captain a few weeks ago, man. Tell me, how did it feel to be back, man, and getting that love, man, that you deserve?
It felt great, man. It was definitely something I feel like it was a long time coming. I always have wanted to get. It felt like senior night. I felt like I got to redo my senior night. I felt the love. I felt the compassion from everybody. Obviously it didn't come out with the win, but I felt the love from the community, from the city of Tucson, and it felt great to just be there, and really just live in the moment, get honored in a case where it was big for me because, my birthday's in October. A lot of stuff for me happened in October, so to be, coined and honored in October was a very big deal to me.
Yeah, man. I thought it was great, man. I thought you deserved that, man. It was funny, man. I looked at my Facebook, and 5 years ago today, I think it was your senior game against ASU. 5 years. I had posted a picture of me and you. We took a picture over at the apartment complex. Even when I caught you over there, when you used to stay over at College Town, and then we took another picture in the stadium of your senior year. And so 5 years, man. Today, man, that was crazy when I saw that popped up.
Wow. Well, now that is crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy. But now we're here doing this interview. Who recruited you here, and why did you choose Arizona?
My recruiter at that time was Tony Dews. He recruited me. He was the Los Angeles County heavy recruit, I guess you would say.
Okay.
So he recruited me. He was the receiver coach for a few years with under Rich Rod's staff. He recruited me, and I fell in love with the campus. That was my main thing. When I was coming out, a lot of different teams or schools offered me at different positions as well. And Arizona was one of them that offered me at quarterback, with them having, Rich Rod having the tenure and experience he had with, quarterbacks that are mobile like myself, like the Pat White, like the Denard Robinson. And he had just, come from, I think they had made it to the Fiesta Bowl and lost. Mm-hmm. So it was a lot going for U of A. And, I wanted to go far, but I didn't want to go too far. But I also didn't want to stay in LA, but I also wanted my family to be able to come and see me play. So to me, it was a no-brainer. I think that it ended up marrying up really well with Rich Rod. I think, I got down there early. I graduated high school when I was 17 and got down there a semester early. And I was really able to just embrace everything about the community in Tucson. I think that's why it sits so deep in my heart, because I feel like I grew up in Tucson in the sense of becoming an adult and being able to learn different, scenarios and different situations that you go through as a young adult. So, yeah, that was kind of my reason for going to U of A. It was not too far, not too close. The offense that they ran was, up to my liking. And I just fell in love with the campus. That was the main thing, man.
Khalil Tate is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Ferrier Tire and Auto. Jack Ferrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. You mentioned Rich Rod, and I thought that was a perfect marriage. I mean, the way that, as you said, Pat White played. I watched West Virginia for years and their style of play. I knew when they recruited you here, I said he's going to fit perfect, into that spot. Tell me some of your memories of Rich Rod. What are some of the things that you remember about him?
Rich Rod is a very interesting guy. I love him to death. What he gets is he's always yelling. That's what people always think. And he does yell a lot, but he also, has a really good heart. I think he does well wherever he goes. I know the school he's at now, they're doing really well. I want to say they're in their conference championship. So he's always known what to do with, whatever talent he had. And obviously, at that time, we weren't necessarily getting a lot of the 4 or 5 star guys. I think it was a point in time I may have been. We played against USC in 2017. I think I was the only person on the team on the roster that had like a USC offer. Right. Obviously now, a lot of guys you're able to get those, but it was a point in time where you had to just kind of work with what you had. And you didn't need a 4 or 5 star to necessarily compete for championships, but you needed a coach that was able to just implement their offense and defense and, really just play as hard as he could. And I think we had a real chip on our shoulder with Rich Rod. And that's why we did have the success that we did have at times.
Khalil, David Kelly here. Obviously, Territorial Cup game day. What do you remember about, this day as a Wildcat, the preparation that you guys and your brothers would go through for this game and then going out and playing in it?
It was real big. I think whenever you have a rivalry game, it's always interesting because a lot of times you hope that, you guys are both doing really well. But a lot of times it's always somebody's having a better season than the other, and it's always a situation where a quote-unquote upset can happen. I was upset myself a year. So, yeah, it's fun. I think that the fans get super involved. I think, just being in that game is, you don't realize the magnitude of it until you're actually in it. And then when you're actually on the field, that's when you feel everything like, this is the Territorial Cup. This is really what, all the stories that you hear from, the Cecils and the guys like that, really not started it, but they made a big impact on it. So it's a big game. I think it's huge for the state of Arizona. I want to say it's the oldest rivalry in college football, so it's a lot of different gems that go into it.
I know you won one of those games and then you lost a couple of others. What was that feeling, man, not being able to beat those guys, man, in those last couple years?
It was, it was tough. Whenever you lose a rivalry game, it's never easy. So it was definitely tough. I think, I think if those my last, I beat them once, lost them 3 times, and my last 2 of those years I got injured during the game. It was always something that went kind of drastically. There's a lot of momentum switch, but a lot kind of drastically changed often in that game, and you just got to be prepared for that. I think that whoever's able to adapt to that drastic momentum switch is who's gonna come out and succeed.
Khalil, I want to take you back to that 2018 game. You guys had the big lead in the fourth quarter. I always defended Kevin Sumlin for running the ball, because that's, again, you guys had won a game against Cal earlier in the year where you basically ran the ball in the fourth quarter and took the rest of the air out of the game. When you look back on that, did the players have any problem with the way that the offensive game plan went down in that fourth quarter?
Yeah, I mean, well, as a player, you kind of can't have a problem with anything because you kind of just got to run whatever is that they tell you to run. Right. I mean, you can have an issue with it if you want to, but it just probably won't end. It won't end well if you're combative about it. But I mean, we ran, what we thought, or not what we thought, but we ran what we were told to run, and it may not necessarily have been the smartest cause at certain points of the game, but obviously, like I said, we ran what we ran, and the result happened how it happened.
Speaking of Coach Sumlin, you were a part of a coaching change. We just had a coaching change with here. Well, Coach left, got a new coach coming in, right? Tell us how hard that is for a quarterback or players in general on the team, because what I said was that, for a new coach coming into a program with a big-name quarterback and a big-time receiver coming off a winning season, I felt like that coach had to kind of play it slow on how he actually kind of took over the team. You have to give those guys a chance to, play and see what they do before you start changing things. But what was your experience with the coaching change when you in?
Well, my coaching changed from Rich Rod to Kevin Sumlin. Okay. It was different. I mean, for one, whenever you have success in one season and then the next season, whoever's the head coach is not there, it's always going to be tough because that's your fearless leader. That's the person that you had that success with, and that's the person that, you feel like is going to lead you into battle the next time. So for the next leader and for the next coach, it's interesting because, I think a lot of times some coaches might try to do their own thing, and some coaches might try to, adapt to whatever players they do have. I just think that whenever a coach comes to a new university or whatever, they have to, also make their identity known too. I think obviously, like as a fan and as a player, you think that it's like, all right, let's just run what we've been running. But for one, that coach doesn't know how to coach exactly what was just ran that past season because they didn't come from that coaching tree. A lot of times they don't come from the same coaching tree. So they kind of try to implement what they do, and they try to marry it with the talent on the team. But it's always hard because you just aren't that coach that was there before with that success. Even when you see the Alabamas and you see DeBoer and Nick Saban, DeBoer is a great coach as well, but you're just not that same coach as that person that had just left. So I think it takes some time. I think I saw BYU. We did. A lot of people they laughed at us because we didn't do well in the Big 12, but people don't realize that was our first year there. So we had to get used to traveling to games 3.5 hours weekly, or used to back-to-back games going, from Florida to Texas. That a lot of guys that are in the Pac-12 aren't used to doing that. So you got to get your body used to it, got to get your mind used to it, and I think that it's a slow game. Obviously, people want fast results, but that's kind of not how life works.
Khalil Tate is our guest in the Captain's Corner, brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto. Jack Furrier since 1960. We're here to get you there. And I want to tell you, man, I appreciate that you stand, man. A lot of times in those situations when you change coordinators and head coaches, man, guys be like, man, they know what's finna happen. Usually coaches come in and change guys around and bring their own guys or whatever. So I was proud of you, actually, man, for you sticking around and staying in a situation where a new coach wanted to bring his own quarterback in and kind of start his own regime. Really appreciated you stand around here at that time. It showed a lot about your upbringing and character, man, for sure.
Oh yeah, I wasn't raised by no fools. You know, I was raised, on certain core standards that, you just gotta work with what you got. You know, you gotta really just, as I would say, bear down and really just, you gotta accept all challenges. You know, you gotta stay 10 toes, and whatever's gonna happen, it was gonna happen regardless. You know, it just was gonna happen in a different way. So that's kind of what I took with it.
Was that a bad call on Sean Poindexter in that 2019 game that negated the return touchdown by Sean Brown?
You talking about 2017? That was
17.
Call,
I'm sorry, 2017. Yeah.
That was a horrible call, but they know it down there, Tempe. They know it.
I want to ask you one. I'm gonna ask you one more thing, man. Tell us about that. We can't get out of here without talking about that Colorado game, man. Tell us a little bit about that Colorado game, man. What did you eat? Where did you sleep? Like, what happened to make you just go crazy like that, man?
Yeah. Well, what a lot of people don't realize is I was actually a backup going into that game. Mm-hmm. You know, I didn't start that game. Right. You know, I have the record. I didn't start. I came in as a backup. So, I mean, I know we had a bye week the week before, and I went home, and I remember I talked to my high school coach, Scott Altenberg, down there at Sarah and Gardena. I just told him, like, if these coaches, or not these coaches, I said, yeah, if they put me in, I said, they're not going to take me out. Mm-hmm. And I was on the bye week. So, got to Colorado, and it was interesting because obviously being a backup, you're not the starter, so you just got to be locked in. And I think against Colorado, I was a lot more locked in, which is crazy because I was just watching the game, and it was, the game was real slow. And then my friend Brandon went down, and I realized, like, this is my turn. And then I got in there, and, what happened. I think it was, I didn't realize what I had done until after the game because we played a good team in Colorado that had a running back by the name of Philip Lindsay that he also rushed for, I think, 280. Right. But it get overshadowed. I mean, I think it was 280 for like 30-something carries, but it gets overshadowed because the stat line that I had. But it wasn't a game where I could just see the stats and like, I'm doing well. I would score, throw a pass, whatever, and then they would drive the whole field. Then we get out there. So it was back and forth, which a lot of people don't realize. I think the score was 45-42, and I didn't realize I had the record until the lady at the end told me, like, yeah, you have the record. And I'm like, that's what's up, too. But, I mean, I'm just happy we won. That's all I was worried about.
Well, and last thing is, man, I appreciated you, man, when you was in school here, man. Talked to athletes at my school when I coached at Pueblo High School. You and Brandon Dawkins, giving shoes away. Giving shoes away to the guy, to the kids and everything like that, clothes and stuff, man. Just really appreciated those things from you, man. Just, real good guy, man. Our thanks to Arizona 2019 quarterback Khalil Tate for joining us this week in the Captain's Corner, man. Bear down.
Great to hear you, Khalil.
Thank you. Bear down.
And that's your Captain's Corner with Kelvin Efon. Captain's Corner is brought to you by Jack Furrier Tire and Auto.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Does it feel like the price of everything is going up, up, up? We can't control the price of gas or groceries, but at Royal Kia, we never add market adjustments, even while other dealers add fees because inventory is limited. At Royal Kia, you can rest assured you won't pay market adjustments, and we stand by our transparent online pricing. Royal Kia, the dealership that's different. OAC plus tax, title, license, dealer installed options, and $529 doc fee. Royal Kia, Speedway in Columbus or royalkia.com.
2025 is bringing the biggest change to air conditioning in decades. New EPA regulations mean AC costs could rise by up to 25%. If you've been thinking about replacing your old AC, now's the time. Rightway is offering zero interest financing and a free furnace when you replace your AC this month. Don't wait till next year when prices go up. Call Rightway today for your free no obligation estimate. Call 520-549-2697.
Make Dave & Buster's a part of your weekly rituals. Military Monday, get extra gameplay on your card. Tuesday night is trivia night with great prizes. Thursday is extra credit with student discounts on gameplay after 9 p.m. Stop in Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. for lunch specials. Want more? Rewards members will get an extra 100 chips with the purchase of 100 chips and Sunday sips for hospitality workers. Full and quick service restaurants, hotels, and amusement parks. Discounted beverages and apps after 9 p.m. only at Dave & Buster's.
The garage is more than a place to park your car. It holds prized possessions, and for most, it's a bustling entryway to the home. That's why LiftMaster designed the first ever opener with a built-in wide-angle camera and two-way audio, so you can see what matters and secure what's inside. Ensure your family and prized possessions are secure with a reliable garage door opener that's built to last and powered by MyQ for smartphone control. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit KaiserGarage.com to learn more.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE Eagle.
Sean Furrier here for Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, a proud sponsor of Arizona Athletics since 1968. And this year, the Wildcats are driving into the Big 12. But we've been down this road before. From the WAC to the PAC, it's never been about the conference. It's always been about the Wildcats. And you can count on the Cats. And you can count on Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care for the very best deals on tires and award-winning auto care. Jack Furrier Tire and Auto Care, since 1960, we're here to get you there. Go Cats!
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
KCUB Tucson, a Cumulus media station. The one and only home of Arizona football. Pre- and post-game coverage, play-by-play, and conferences. We are Wildcats Radio 1290. Wildcat Nation, are you ready?
Touchdown, Arizona, Gunnar Maldonado. Noah straight back to throw. Got a man. Hot touchdown, Arizona. He's sacked by Jacob Manu. And it's picked off. Trayton Stukes. Nobody close to Tetairoa McMillan.
Let's go. Tear down, Cats. Our window depot coverage of U of A football continues. The Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show is brought to you by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived. We're getting closer to kickoff for today's Arizona football game. This is Wildcats Radio 1290. Let's take a look at the Right Way Rundown and see what's coming up on our pregame show, brought to you by Right Way Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Doing things the right way.
Oh, you know he knows somebody.
All right, we've got, Coach brought some food to the party today. We got you, grab that. Oh, there
grab
it
that.
Is. Grab that right bowl. There.
Yes, sir, I got mine.
Hey,
that takes it, you know.
Hop on real quick here, Coach, and tell us what you got, what we got in those bags there. Pleased to be joined here locally by the head coach, the longtime track director of the University of Arizona, Coach Fred Harvey. Coach, it's Territorial Cup game day.
Yes, sir. The legend.
Bear Down Day.
Bear Down Day, indeed. What you all got? I know you got a big tailgate across the street there. What do you got cooking over there right now?
We got a little bit of everything, and I'm sorry, we got a little bit of everything. I do my my traditional chili for the last for the Sun Devil game, and gumbo going over at another
Gumbo,
tailgate.
yeah, that was so good last year. That gumbo, man.
Yeah.
Where that tailgate at?
Look for the Raptor Cat. The Raptor Cat, right there.
Yes, sir.
The second palm tree down.
Okay. How many Territorial Cup games is this for you, Coach?
38.
38.
Yeah, this is 38.
All right. Well, give me a memory. Give me a great memory of yours.
Well, you know, probably my best memory is when we were actually playing here at home. Now this is not going to be favorable for my Cats. Okay. We were beating them down. And I believe J.R. Redmond was in that particular game, and
I was there.
We were hammering them, and we ended up losing the game. If you looked at the stats, we hammered. We put them down. One play only. We didn't, we scored field goals, didn't score touchdowns, and y'all know the end of the story. But it was just one of my favorite, one of my favorite games, that I was part of, because I felt that was one of the transitions that we as a program was making, and I love the Territorial Cup. I mean, it's football. It's football at its heart, and. And I get ready all week.
There you go, Coach. There you go. Well, we keep joking that one of these days we're going to bring the show across the street to your house.
Oh no, let's not joke anymore. It's less than 200 steps.
There we go. Well, next year we'll make that happen for one. How about one game next year? We'll do it at your house.
Tell me what game, and you know what? I'm a basketball fan too.
Okay. Oh, well, that's right. Well, we can do it for basketball. Yeah. Maybe we'll do it. Maybe with this year we'll feel it out for a basketball game this year. Yep. And then do a football game next year.
Yeah, and since the captain here, is football and basketball,
exactly.
We don't want to discriminate.
Right, not at all, not at all. Well, Coach, we appreciate the good food, and we appreciate you stopping by and just your legacy here at the University of Arizona. And unfortunately, your Steelers got pounded in the snow last week.
I knew he was going to go there.
By them Browns.
Well,
but we got another meeting coming up here in about a week and a half.
Yeah, we do. And just because Daddy was a Brown, don't make everybody a Brown.
There you go. There you go. Coach, appreciate you stopping by.
My pleasure.
All right, that is the coach, Coach Fred Harvey.
Man, I like that gumbo.
I was saying Glenn was saying he liked that gumbo.
Glenn said he likes that gumbo.
I said I got to go down there.
When I say the best chili, I've never lost a chili cook-off.
Oh, man.
I got my bowl.
Said he's never lost a chili cook-off.
Wow. Oh, well, that's my type of chili.
There you go. There you go. All right, hour number 3, man. We are just cruising through this show today. We've got your scoreboard coming up straight ahead. We'll find out who that Sun Devil might be that gets underneath the skin of your Arizona Wildcats. Today it's your Pest of the Game, brought to you by University Pest Control. Keys to the game, best bets as well. How does this game look on the big board at the Desert Diamond Casino Hotel and Sportsbook? Well, the kids from up north are a 9-point favorite coming in here today. The over/under is 53.5, and I finally got the records all tallied up. So we'll share when we get to that segment where we stand going into this final day of the picks. Let's get a check though of what's happening around the rest of the country in terms of college football.
Let's take a look at what's happening today around the rest of the country. The College Football Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers.
All right, I'm going to try to decipher this. Okay, so here's Arizona State has several ways to get into this thing. One of them was they needed Colorado to lose yesterday as the buses are arriving on campus for the final Wildcat walk of this 2024 season prior to the Territorial Cup game. Byron Evans is the honorary captain for today's game. The great linebacker, Byron Evans. Yes. Say again, Glenn?
We used to call him the Cobra because he would strike you like a cobra. he was so quick and with the hits, he was the Cobra.
I like that, the Cobra. So here's, let me just give you a couple of the scenarios here. I'm not going to go into all of them because there's like 256 different ones. But if this were to end in a three-way tie and Arizona State loses, then your championship game is Iowa State and BYU. If it's a three-way tie, meaning all teams finishing 7-2, and Iowa State loses, then it's Arizona State and BYU. So BYU's got a number of favorable different ways to get into this thing today, as long as they win. Now, how can Colorado get in? Well, Colorado gets in if BYU loses, Texas Tech wins, Baylor wins, and Cincinnati wins. That means that Colorado will play Iowa State. Now, Arizona State can play Colorado if BYU loses, Texas Tech wins, Baylor loses, and Cincinnati loses. Then Colorado will play Arizona State. Also, it can be Arizona State and Iowa State if BYU loses and West Virginia wins. So those are just a few of the scenarios on the board. We mentioned Colorado, number 25 in the country, beat Oklahoma State yesterday, 52-0. Utah knocked off Central Florida 28-14. So the Knights finished their season 4-8 and 2-7, and Utah finishes at 5-7. So they are not going to a bowl game under Kyle Whittingham. Games in progress right now in the Big 12. Baylor is leading Kansas 21-0. So in one of those scenarios or two, you need Baylor to lose, but they're winning, so they'll likely finish 6-3. Texas Tech is beating West Virginia currently 13-3. Neil Brown is on the hot seat there as the head coach of West Virginia. So Texas Tech trying to stay in the mix. The other games on the docket today: TCU at Cincinnati. TCU 5-3 there. Kansas State and Iowa State. Kansas State 5-3, Iowa State 6-2. How do you guys know that you're in the Big 12 conference? We're in a conference where two teams play, and it's called the Farmageddon Bowl.
The Farmageddon. Well, it's a lot of farms in the Big 12.
That would be Kansas State versus Iowa State. The Farmageddon Bowl. I don't think I'd heard of that until yesterday. Just to give you an indication of the teams that are still in this thing: Colorado, Arizona State, BYU, Iowa State, Baylor, Kansas State, TCU, Texas Tech, and West Virginia all have a chance to, now I think actually Texas Tech might be out of it now. There's a couple teams that are out of it as a result of Colorado's win yesterday. Colorado at 7-2, so ASU can finish 7-2, BYU can finish 7-2, Iowa State can finish 7-2, and somewhere out of that we'll get two teams to play in the Big 12 Conference Championship game. All right, quick look at the top 25. Obviously, no games are final on today's schedule, but there is a number of games in progress. Number 23, Illinois leading Northwestern 14-10. South Carolina and Clemson, big rivalry down there, 7-7. Vanderbilt and Tennessee, that's a rivalry, 17-7. And Michigan is leading number 2 Ohio State midway through now this is the end at halftime. Michigan's now leading at the half in Columbus 7-3 over the Buckeyes in that big rivalry game. All right, it is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. That is a check of your Goldberg Osborne Injury Lawyers scoreboard. We've got much more coming up for you here. We're going to dive into our pest of the game, our keys to the game. We'll also hear some more from some of the participants in this contest today. Kenny Dillingham, the head coach at Arizona State, who has miraculously turned around this program. We'll also hear from Tyler Loop and Josh Baker on their head coach, Brent Brennan, and what he has meant to them in their one season here in Tucson. Much more straight ahead from the U of A Mall. Come on by. I still have a few tickets I can give away. If you need tickets to the game, come see me. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
The College Football Scoreboard is brought to you by Goldberg and Osborne. Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers. Our window depot coverage of Arizona football continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne, the injury lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed.
guys if you don't have Big Jonah out there.
That's a huge loss. I mean,
Jonah,
go ahead, Glenn.
I was going to say that's a huge loss of not having Jonah there. This game, this game can bring the best out of some guys. The rivalry, and this is where we need to have it stepped up, because losing a guy like that for this game, and I know Jonah probably hates not playing in this game, and the guys have to step up. This is the game of the year. We win this game, I think we have a successful year. We win this game. It'd be awesome.
Yeah, and it sucks because it's a good chance that he's probably not going to be here next year. Yeah, man, you hate that, because for the run game, Noah's a little nicked up. If he plays, you would love to have him there to help protect him. So big loss. Tough hearing that before this game.
Other seniors, Justin Holloway, the long snapper who we talked about it a number of times this season, who's been been able to get down into some punt coverage and make some plays. Jared Small, the transfer from Tulane. Kevon Darton, the redshirt senior transfer from Syracuse. Stanley Tuofo, the transfer from USC, and Joey Capra, the transfer from Nevada, who is likely going to start today on the right side of that line. If Jonah can't go, it'll be Michael Wooten on the left side of that line. And guys, I went through that entire list, and outside of the guys that are the captains who are injured, when you talk about Gunnar Maldonado and Trayden Stukes, the large portion of those guys that we're going to honor today are transfers. Guys that transferred into this program, with the exception of Tyler Loop and Josh Baker.
Yeah, man, that's the new times, man. It's a lot like back in the day with JUCOs. I mean, to me, once you come in and once you start sweating and bleeding and working together, and you put a year behind your belt, that's no better than somebody that's been here 4 or 5 years. Because the reality of it is, you'll have a guy that played more in that 1 year than some guys that probably that was here for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the reality of like Kelvin says, the reality of the NIL and the transfer portal is going to be very rare that we're going to see a 4-year guy there. And because kids they're changing like they're changing their clothes, man. They're just changing schools, every year, and hopefully that they will get this thing settled down. There's the NCAA will make some decisions and limit the transfer portal for how many years you can transfer. I think they need to do that, and we can get back to some normalcy here.
No, Glenn, I disagree. No, Glenn, if somebody don't want to be at your school, let them go. If you don't want to be around, man, hey, I don't want guys there unhappy or thinking you're holding them back for some reason. But, hey, that's going to be the decision at the end of the day they have to make. But, no, man, if someone don't want to be around, you don't want to be on my team, hey, man, I'm going to do everything I can to help you get where you want to go.
And we got Paul and Phoenix is in the house with us. Go ahead, Glenn.
Yeah, but I disagree with you, Kelvin. I think they should get two transfers, and that's it.
Yeah, I don't get. Yeah,
I don't think you should be there. It shouldn't be like 4 transfers or 3 transfers, 2 transfers. You got to make your decision, Glenn, and you got to stick it out.
But
otherwise,
Glenn,
we're just telling kids they can. You have no responsibility or any.
I'll just say this last thing, Glenn.
Loyalty to anybody.
I'll say this last thing, Glenn. A lot of times these kids are leaving, they're getting pushed out. So let's not forget about that part too. A lot of time coaches don't think the guys are good enough, and they want other guys to try because their careers are short if they don't win immediately. So a lot of guys are getting pushed out. A lot of these guys aren't just making decisions to leave. These coaches are pushing them out.
All right, let's hear from Tyler Loop on the coach he inherited for his last season. 3 coaches for a lot of these. 3, well, at least for these guys. 3 coaches. Kevin Sumlin, Jed Fish, and now Brent Brennan. Let's hear from both Tyler Loop and Josh Baker on Brent Brennan.
He's a player's coach. Loves his players. Cares about his players. He's one of those guys where he walks around and you always know you can approach him. You can come to him with anything. His door open policy is a legit door open policy. If you walk by his office, he's got both the doors to his office open, and that means he's free to talk. You can go sit down, hang out on his couch, and develop that relationship. As far as things I've learned from him, it's been a lot of leadership stuff, what it looks like to lead with action, what it looks like to lift guys up, show up every day ready to work, because we talk about it a lot right now, especially going through maybe a harder season with the record, but
got the brothers,
he always says the only way to it is through it. He's like, if you want to feel better as a team, the only thing that you can do right now is get back to work. And so having that mindset has been really good for staying the course and sticking with our process.
One thing that really stands out is that burning optimism, that burning passion to come to work every single day, even when things aren't looking great. His message is, again, to just keep pounding the rock, keep swinging the hammer. And another thing is that we practice hard. His motto is like, if you can't practice hard, how are you going to be able to play hard? We practice harder than any staff that I've ever been a part of.
All right, that was Josh Baker and Tyler Loop talking about their head coach, Brent Brennan. We're pleased to be joined right now by the Director of Athletics here at the University of Arizona, Desiree Reed-Francois. Desiree, we were just hearing from some of the seniors. Senior day, always a special day on a college campus, especially here in Tucson, because we get to play it on the day we play the Territorial Cup game.
Absolutely. We had 14 seniors participating, and I just caught that last clip of Josh Baker. Josh Baker was one of the first student athletes that I had the privilege of meeting here, and, he is just a special young man. He was actually our intern over the summer, and he's, those student athletes are the reason why we do what we do. And we're going to have, I think we're close to 1,500 away from a sellout. It is going to be an electric atmosphere. This is the oldest trophy for a rivalry game in the country, and I think it's not quite our 100th. I think it's the 98th meeting in the Territorial Cup Series, but I am so fired up. And right before, as I was walking over here, I ran into T-Mac's family.
Oh, wow.
And I know he's not a senior, but I hugged them all, and they're just such incredible people. And I'll be celebrating him when he goes into the draft. But I told them how special it was, and how he plays with such joy, and how I was just so incredibly blessed to be able to watch him play.
Absolutely. You are decked out in your red today. How many red suits do you have?
I don't have very many. I don't have very many, but it's a red out, and Tony Daniel would be mad if I don't wear the red, and it looks pretty fantastic, doesn't it?
It looks great on a day like today, a beautiful fall day here in the state of Arizona. And obviously, when you look at a game like this, you've got, fans from both sides that are going to be packing this stadium. Where are we in terms of the numbers that we're expecting for the game today?
Yeah, like I said, we're almost at a sellout. I think there's 1,500 seats left until it's a sellout.
Okay.
And I must say, and we shared some tickets with our veterans, and
oh wow, awesome,
through vettix.com. But I must say, we did limit some. Anybody who had an ASU email, or anybody who there's some zip codes that we might have banned, and there you go.
We love the Bourget family, but I don't know if you heard about what happened 2 years ago.
No.
When they bought up they bought up basically a whole entire section of the Zona Zoo, because Trenton was starting that day for the Sun Devils. So you had the Zona Zoo, and it was this bright patch of gold in there that looked Well, we love those folks. They're great. They're Marana people, but we definitely don't want that bright section of gold in the middle of the Zona Zoo today. And obviously the students are gone this week, so that's a different dynamic about how those tickets become available, and do those generally go fast to the public, or how does that work?
We actually, you're absolutely right. Our students are gone, but those that are local, we're hoping they came back in. And those were some, we're looking forward to. We did not sell them to the general public that had any kind that we could find any ASU affiliation.
it's funny because I this summer I tried to buy some baseball tickets for a game back east, and like we couldn't buy them because they clocked our zip code and wouldn't let us buy the tickets. So I had to tell my family members, I was like, you guys had to buy the tickets because they're not letting us buy them. So I guess that's kind of the thing now. Huge win yesterday for Arizona volleyball.
Yeah, and it's not foolproof. Like, there's people that sneak in, like,
absolutely.
Now you're giving away game day secrets. It's not foolproof, but anything we can do to keep the Sun Devils out of our stadium, God bless.
There you go. Huge win for Arizona volleyball yesterday. My gosh. 7 straight wins to end the season. Now it's in the hands of the committee, but I got to believe that they're getting into the NCAA tournament.
They are so well deserving of what Coach Stubbs and that team has done. They had 8 wins all of last year, and now we are just crushing it. The freshmen are really coming on strong. At the end of the year, the veterans are leading the way, but it's been absolutely fantastic to watch them, and they're just great people. One thing I really love about Coach Stubbs is, we do this "How may I help you?" and she signs up anytime that her team is not playing. She is always there, and it's just she's part of the team, part of the Wildcat family, and I really appreciate all the extra touches she does.
Yeah, absolutely. And then really Senior Day even in football is a chance for us to celebrate all of our seniors that are graduating this year. Jordan Wilson, Jalen Hodge, who's had a great career here on the volleyball side at the University of Arizona, has helped lead that team, and we'll find out tomorrow exactly what their placement is in the NCAA tournament. Tough week for basketball. I see you got. Did you go down? I don't see a tan there.
I did go down, and I did get back late last night. There is no tan. No, I know.
Did you do the water slide? Because we've been asking that question to folks all week that were there.
I must admit, I did do the water slide.
Wow! Look at you!
I did them all. Yes,
High five on that! Desiree did the water slide. All right.
Don't be judging. I love water slides.
Because I told Brody, I was like, there's no, I was down there about 20 years ago. I was like, there's no way I was doing that.
You didn't do the water slide?
I did not do the water slide.
Oh, man.
No. And I was there when they first built it. So.
I had never been.
I don't do well with heights and fast going down at a high.
But it's so cool. Like you go down and like there's sharks on both sides, and I love like sharks. I love any kind of like ocean things, and it's fantastic.
There you go.
That part was really cool. But
a lot of fans down there. You guys took.
Oh my gosh, we had such incredible support. I think we had the most fans there, and just great people who love the Wildcats. And I'm just so thankful for all of our fans. Their faith and their belief. It's something really special.
Outstanding. Well, Desiree, we appreciate you as always stopping by. Anything else you want to say to the fans before we get to kick off here at 1:30?
I just really want to say a sincere thank you. This is my first season back. I graduated in '97 from law school here, and it is my husband and I were talking about that, and my son on Thanksgiving, and just how incredibly blessed we are to be back here in Tucson. It's a special place. We got a lot of work to do, and but I appreciate everyone's faith. So thank you, fans, for your support.
All right, Desiree, we look forward to a winning football Saturday.
Absolutely. Bear down.
Bear down, Arizona. Desiree Reed-Francois, the athletics director here at the University of Arizona. All right, we're going to take our final break here. We'll come back. Pest of the game, keys to the game, best bets, and all of gumbo. That's Coach Fred Harvey's gumbo. Have you ever had that yet? That's right. Coach Fred Harvey taking care of us here. With Kelvin Efon, J.W. Madden, Glenn Howe, and a host of others. I'm David Kelly. You're listening to Wildcats Radio 1290.
The Window Depot has everything you need to create the kitchen or bathroom of your dreams. Browse the aisles of in-stock cabinets available in a variety of sizes and configurations and instantly elevate your space today. Visit a showroom and let our experts guide you. Whether you're choosing from ready-to-go designs or creating a custom masterpiece, we can help you select the perfect wood type, color, and style. And top it off with unique hardware to complete your look. Find a location near you at thewindowdepot.com. The Window Depot, more than a window store.
Don't hold back. Just dive right in. This is Desert Diamond. The round-the-clock, off-the-charts, over-the-top spectacle that puts a shine on any day, anytime. The tables are hot to the touch. The slots are spinning winners every day. And the point spreads are yours for the taking. So go ahead. Live the diamond life. Desert Diamond Casino. Visit ddcaz.com.
An enterprise of the Donna Ogden Nation.
Hi, this is Peter Costa, former governor of the New York Stock Exchange and proud member of the Advisory Business Council with Meridian Wealth Management. One thing I've learned over 40 years on the floor is the value of a trusting relationship with your financial advisor. After all, everyone is a genius when the markets are going up, but when they drop, that's when the guidance of a professional is most important. For more information about Meridian, call 719-1433 or visit online at meridianwealthllc.com.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Come out to Dave & Buster's, the best place outside of the stadium to see the games this football season. Monday and Thursday, get all-you-can-eat wings with game card for $19.99. Sunday, get in on the chance to win a big game watch party at Dave & Buster's in front of the big screen, plus other big prizes and weekly winners. Join them now through October 22nd, all day, every day. They'll be offering $5 22-ounce drafts only at Dave & Buster's. Make Dave & Buster's your place to watch the games.
Do you often worry you left your garage door open? With the LiftMaster Garage Door Opener powered by MyQ, you'll never worry again. You can control, secure, and monitor your garage from your smartphone anytime from anywhere through the MyQ app. As an authorized LiftMaster dealer, we have smart openers designed for your needs, including belt drive motors for ultra-quiet operation, integrated camera for live video streaming, and battery backup that lets you in when the power is out. The team at Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates are your locally owned LiftMaster professionals. Visit kaisergarage.com to learn more.
As Arizona's leading personal injury law firm for more than 35 years, Goldberg & Osborne agrees. Bear down, Arizona. With offices statewide, including Tucson and Sierra Vista, the Eagle gives you home field advantage. More than 2,200 five-star Google reviews prove Goldberg & Osborne has the playbook for any situation. So after an accident, let the attorneys voted best personal injury law firm 4 years in a row tackle that insurance company and get you the settlement you deserve. Goldberg & Osborne, 1-800-THE-EAGLE.
JT Auto, where customers are family. Trust your vehicle to JT Auto professional and reliable automotive repair and maintenance services. JT Auto is conveniently located off Fort Lowell and Country Club. Open Monday through Friday. JT Auto is a full-service auto shop with satisfaction guaranteed, offering you the best in tires and wheels, auto repair, oil changes, computer diagnostics, suspension and brake service, and heating and AC. Bring your car to JT Auto, where customers are family. 623-7066. That's 623-7066.
Our Window Depot coverage of U of A football continues. This is the Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day pregame show on Wildcats Radio 1290. Now back to your hosts, David Kelly, the tight end Glenn Howell, and the captain, Kelvin Ifan.
Final segment of the show coming to you from...
the pest the Wildcats need to be free from to win today's game. The Pest of the Game is brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. BePestFree.com.
All right, final segment of the show. We got a lot of bills to pay, so let's get through it. Pest of the Game. Normally, guys, I look for somebody maybe on the defensive side, somebody obscure, maybe that's going to stand out from that side of the ball, but we all know who the pest is on this team. It's a guy by the name of Cam Scatterboo, and if he when you talk about someone getting under your skin, a running back like him, he is the epitome of what Pest of the Game is.
100%, and I would 100% agree with you. You stole my guy, but I got it even better.
Okay.
The offensive line group.
Ooh, okay.
Because those are the guys that are paving the way for Scatterboo. Those guys are my pest of the game today.
Well, my pest of the game, I'm looking at, I know obvious it's Cam Scatterboo. And Kelvin, you're right, the offensive line. But you know who I've been watching these games over the last couple of games is their tight end, Shimon Mateer. Mateer, I think it is. He has been just a beast the last couple of games, getting a lot of catches, especially in the red zone. I think he's dangerous, and I think he's going to be number 7 on there. I think he's my pest of the game.
Shimon Mateer, 26 catches, 252 yards, 4 touchdowns, third leading receiver on that team behind Jordan Tyson and Cam Scadaboo. Cam Scadaboo, not only a great running back, but he's also got 34 catches out of the backfield this year, second leading receiver on the team for ASU. So there you go. You got Cam Scadaboo, you got Shimon Mateer, and you've got the offensive line for the Sun Devils.
That's our Pest of the Game, brought to you by University Termite and Pest Control. BePestFree.com. Tucson, what are today's best bets? Will the Cats beat the spread? It's time to look at some of the best bets in football this weekend. Today's best bets are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet.
All right, the line on this game is Arizona State -9. So here's what we've got, guys. I finally was able to. I'd missed a week, so I was able to go back and tally everything here in terms of going into this final selection for football. We've got David Kelly at an even 11-11 on the season. Glenn Howell is sitting at 10-12 after he took 2 L's last week to allow me to catapult up by a game. Kelvin Ifan on the downside at 9-13. So what's it going to be, guys? Arizona State -9 today.
Well, I'm going to say this. If you're betting with me, don't bet today. This is not the day because I'm going Wildcats. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it is. I got to put that good juju out there. So, make your own bets today because I'm going Cats.
U of A plus the 9, Kelvin says. Glenn.
I'm right next to you, brother. I'm right next to you. It's all in. Cats, bear down.
I actually, I actually think this is going to be I think that's a high line. I think it's going to be a much closer game than that. I don't think this will be more than a touchdown or so game today. So I'm also going to take U of A plus the 9 points in this contest today. Okay, we've got an over/under of 53.5 today. I think there's going to be points, so I'm going to take the over.
For us to win this game, we can't have that many points, so I'm going to take the under.
Okay.
I'm going to take the under.
Yeah, I'm going the under, too. The under. I think it's a 28-21 or 28-17 game.
Yeah.
Well, 28-21, well, that would be 49, so that would be the under. That would be the under for sure. All right, so everybody is taking Arizona and the 9 points. Glenn and Kelvin are taking the under. I am going with the over. Those are your best bets on the board at the Desert Diamond Sportsbook.
Those are today's best bets. They are brought to you by Desert Diamond Sportsbook, Arizona's best bet. Wildcats fans, what are the big keys for today's game? Our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different.
All right, keys to the game. We'll start with Glenn Howell in Chicago.
Well, first and foremost, we got to control your emotions in this game. Mm-hmm. This is a very emotional game. First thing we have to do is control our emotions. No personal fouls, and none of that stuff. That's got to be important. The next thing is you got the number 3 defense in the country. You have to try, and you can't run away from it. We got to run the football. We got to try to run the football against them. We cannot not try to. What you got to do is try to go right at them, because this is the same scenario. No one could run against that team in '82 where everybody's picking us to lose this game. So we have to be able to run the ball. No turnovers, and then we have to create some turnovers on the defense. You got to have at least one turnover on the defense. And special teams, we got to have a special play on special teams this game to win this game. Passing game, on the passing game, I just really believe that we have no turnovers and we move the ball and we're efficient on getting first downs and not throwing any interceptions, and then we can win this ball game.
Well, you got a couple of mine, Glenn. I was going to say Noah Fafita, No interceptions in this game today. I'll go back to what we were just talking about with the best of the game. I think you got to control Cam Scattaboo. If Cam Scattaboo goes off for 100-plus yards, then you're going to be in trouble here today. Pick your poison. Make Sam Levitt be the guy that beats you. Don't let Cam Scattaboo. Make Sam Levitt and Jordan Tyson have to be the ones that beat you in this ball game today. And also the other thing was, like you mentioned, special teams. I'd like to see some type of big special teams play, whether that's a big kick return by Jeremiah Patterson or big punt return. I remember my first memory of this game was Money Mike Thomas in 2008 taking the ball back to the house to seal the win here against the Sun Devils. You need a play like that to win this game today. Kelvin.
I agree. You have to stop the run. First and foremost, when you're going against a team like Arizona State, you're going to have to stop Scatterboo and that offensive line. Load up, force those guys to pass. You got good DBs. We're missing some guys, but Coach Aquino can make that work out back there. You have to stop that run. I don't care what you have to do. Also, run the ball. You can do it with quick passing game, or you can do it with the quick passing game or with the jet sweep. It really doesn't matter to me, but we got to get that ball out there quick. We got to get those chains moved. Hunter, get that ball to Hunter, man. I think he's a good receiver. I think he can open up some things over there for T-Mac to get him going.
All right, those are the things we believe that the Wildcats, I should say, need to do to beat the Sun Devils today.
Our keys to the game are brought to you by the Royal Automotive Group. Royal Automotive, the dealership that is different. The dealership that is different.
All right, a couple things I want to get to, a couple quick sound bites here. I want you to hear from Kenny Dillingham. J-Dub, this will be we'll go to 7.3 here, talking about this rivalry. Anything can happen today.
I think the last time Arizona State was undefeated at home was 2004. They were the 17th ranked team in the country, and they traveled to Arizona, and they lost.
There you go.
Rivalry game. Anything happens in a rivalry game.
You're right, rivalry game. Anything happens in a rivalry game. We've seen it. Sam Levitt is their quarterback. And here's what he said early in the year. We'll go to 8.1 here about Sam Levitt.
The fact that that dude has 3 years left, every company in the state should be calling him for an NIL deal. Every company, people should be throwing cars at him. They should be throwing condos at him. They should be throwing whatever they can throw at him to be excited. Like, people should rally behind that. People should be fired up about the opportunity to build around that. And I'm just glad he's here.
And you know what? Brent Brennan absolutely is on board with that type of thinking. Brent says we've got to invest in our kids.
Yeah,
I agree with Kenny.
Yeah, they go Chris back.
Chris rules are what they are.
Dolphin, Pope.
Let's take great care of
K-Hut, whatever.
Let's do everything we can to keep the best players at the University of Arizona. Like, let's find every way possible to do that.
Let's get Chris Mack real quick. We got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes, real quick. 2 minutes.
Already, baby. Already.
Chris McAllister has joined the program.
Yes, sir.
Real quick, Chris, we're running out of time here. We got about a minute and a half. Memories of this rivalry, Chris McAllister.
Yeah. This is always one of those intense moments where no matter what the records are, no matter how you've been playing all year, it's like guys go out here and give it everything they got, So I expect nothing less today than it to be an all-out brawl.
Dwayne Aquina brings you up in every press conference. What are your memories of Dwayne Aquina?
He's calmed down a lot now than what he was then.
I don't know about that.
I'm just saying he was way more.
Yeah.
Hey,
I was sitting there. I know. Intense.
And he's an intense coach. He gets the best out of his players, man. And you just gotta love that guy.
Outstanding, Chris. Great to see you back here. Bear down.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, Chris McAllister, long time. Cornerback here, one of the greatest cornerbacks in the history of the program. Glenn, real quick, final thoughts.
Hey, we just got to go out there and play our best game of the year. We got to, like I said, get the emotions out of it and just bear down.
Kelvin, final thoughts.
Hey, this the reason why you come to Arizona, man, to beat up on ASU. Hey, bear down, man, to get the job done. Simple as that.
All right, that is going to wrap up our show. We appreciate everybody that stopped by. Desiree Reed-Francois, Chris McAllister, Tom Tunnicliffe, Khalil Tate, Glenn Howe in Chicago. Glenn, safe travels back. We'll talk to you on Tuesday when we break it down for a final time. Appreciate as well J.W. Madden back in studio. Man, we're almost through it. 4 straight days of game day programming leading up to this, the biggest game of the season. For the 98th time, we will battle here in the Territory, Arizona versus Arizona State. Kickoff at 1:30. Brian Jeffries and Lamont Levitt will have the call. We'll talk to you after the game, folks. Bear down, Arizona.
Our Window Depot coverage of Arizona football continues. This is Meridian Wealth Management Arizona Game Day. Hour 3 of the pregame show is brought to you by Broadway in Tucson, Cool Willie's Air and Plumbing, Drain Medics, First Choice Pools, Goldberg and Osborne the Injury Lawyers, Kaiser Garage Doors and Gates, O'Reilly Chevrolet, Showtime Sports Cards, Tucson Police Department, and by Meridian Wealth Management. Wealth well managed, life well lived.
Hi, this is Tim Couch, retired NFL quarterback for the Cleveland Browns, partner at Meridian Wealth Management, and proud member of Meridian's Tucson Advisory Business Council. It's my favorite time of year, college football season. I've always been a proud Wildcat. As our firm has grown in Tucson with Ruben and Natalie Fernandez, I now cheer on 2 Wildcats every year. My alma mater of Kentucky, of course, and our U of A Cats. Here's to a great football season, and go Cats.
Advisory services provided by Meridian Wealth Management, a registered investment advisor.
Honey, our yard's full of weeds. Looks like a jungle and the neighbors are complaining.
I know. I'm trying to get rid of them, but the product I'm using, it doesn't work.
Oh.
Not to mention, I don't have the time.
But it's not just weeds.
It's not?
No, I'm seeing ants.
Ants?
Yeah, and spiders.
Ooh, spiders.
I know, and I think I saw a scorpion.
No way.
Yes way, and there's a pet rat in our garage.
Ew. Okay, I'll call University Termite and Pest Control today. We'll get rid of all of them.
Okay, honey, thank you.
University Termite and Pest Control, locally owned. Find them online at bepestfree.com.
Need a reliable solution? Whether it's a leaky faucet, a clogged drain, or an upgrade to a tankless water heater, Rightway has you covered. And for a limited time only, we're offering 10% off your next repair or installation. Don't let plumbing issues ruin your day. Call Rightway at 520-276-2775. We'll get a plumber to your door. If it's worth doing, do it the right way.
For 100 years, O'Reilly Chevrolet has been part of the fabric of Tucson, just as our Chevy trucks are part of the fabric of America. With that in mind, we're proud to announce it's officially truck season. And this year we have Motor Trend's Truck of the Year, the all-new Chevy Colorado. Test drive your new Chevy truck on Broadway next to Park Place Mall. Call 747-8000 or check out our entire lineup at O'Reilly.com. Don't miss truck season, going on now at O'Reilly Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
O'Reilly Chevrolet.
Don't hold back.
No, that's it.